So now it's time to spin the wheel. I will spin the USDC wheel, and random amount of USDC will be appear on the screen, and this amount I will send it to your cryptocurrency wallet. Okay?
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
May you introduce yourself, please?
So my name is Ewen Cousin. I'm French. I'm 28 years old. Yes, I'm from a little city called Nantes in the region called Brittany in the northwest of France.
Very nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Can you reveal most common stereotypes about your country? The one you heard maybe or your friends told you.
Yeah, I heard when I went to Brazil that French people smell and
Smell?
yeah. Maybe because we have a lot of lux industry and we use a lot of perfumes. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a way to think of overcompensating of using perfume. I don't know, but it's not true.
It's very nice. Yeah. And what about the one that I heard about French people? Maybe it's stereotype, you will tell me now, is that French people very love French language. And when you came to France, it's very appreciated by French society if you speak French. If you not speak French, they will not like it. They will continue speak French with you. They will try to speak French with you. This is true, like you love your language?
The truth is that we don't speak a lot of English or any other languages. And because we are not so good at it. And yes, French is a very hard language for us too. For example, we have games about it on TV. I mean, on TV shows, we have some spelling games and other things because it's a very hard language.
Yeah.
And yes, it's quite important for us, and it's like a ranking society stuff to well speaking French. I mean, if you speak very well French, you can work in big companies and stuff, and if you don't, it's very hard to integrate.
Yeah.
And French people don't usually make some moves about you if you don't speak good French. So it's true.
Yeah.
That you say it's quite true.
So France in the top of countries for touristic destinations. So can you tell me, as a native, as a French person, can you tell me if this is an annoying part in this? And in general, how you feel about this when in your country, it's always you see a lot of tourists. It should be very annoying sometimes. No? How do you feel about this? And how in general French people feel about this?
I don't know if you know the situation of France, but a lot of tourists are French. So it's not like there is so foreigners coming in France. Sure, in, like you said, in Provence or even near the Château de la Loire or in Paris, there is even in Mont Saint-Michel, there is a lot of tourists from other countries, but we go a lot to different cities in our own country because we like it. Everywhere it's beautiful. So
yeah. And can you name most like top destinations for French people to travel inside the country? Where do you like to go usually? Like where people like to go?
Beside Eiffel Tower, or it's very touristical for foreigners, but we don't go to Paris if we don't have to. So as French people, we usually go to like countryside, like Mont Saint-Michel, or like you said, Etretat, or I noted some stuff, yes, castles along the Loire, or the Brocéliande forest, where there's legends and all stuff with Merlin, l'Enchanteur, or it's very Celtish culture. And we have also the La Dune du Pilat. It's like a very huge strands of sand near the ocean. And yeah, it's a very favorite destination for people because it's warm, it's beautiful, and yeah, it's all you need to go.
Yeah, and talking about castles and about how you call it, Loire.
Loire, yes.
Loire. So talking about this, I've been in one castle. The name is, if I say it correct now, I'm sorry. The name is Chenonceau. It's
Chenonceau, yes.
Chenonceau Castle. It's very nice, very unique. I stayed there for 3 days in Chenonceau village, and I see the castle and just walk around and use bicycles there. It's very amazing experience, by the way. It's very historical. But can you tell me, like a French person who was always seeing that, how does this feel to always live in historical, beautiful places like this? This is common for you, or you still like look at this and enjoy and you feel like, wow, I live in this place?
It's a bit like if you ask me what it is to be rich. You see, yes, sure, we're surrounded by beautiful places, a lot of castles, a huge amount of castles. I live near the castle of Nantes. It's very, very huge, much bigger than Chenonceau, but not so nice. There is not the river under the castle, because Chenonceau is a bridge castle. But yes, it's always amazing to see these kind of buildings everywhere in the country. The reason why there is so much French tourists in France. So it's not like we are used to it. We always enjoy to go there.
Yeah, you appreciate the place you live. Yeah. I understand.
As
and what about nature in France? Like people in France connected to nature, like you go hiking or you go just visit nature. For example, I've been in Etretat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful and very nice nature there. So people in France have connected to nature?
Actually, all the castles are very big gardens surrounding the castle. Like in Chenonceau, the gardens are very big, but in Chambord or Versailles, the Palais de Versailles, the castle has a very huge gardens, or people used to walk, to run and do their jogging there. And yes, at the garden there is a lot of parks, squares, and forest. And when you live near the mountains, you go to ski. But when you live near the ocean, like me, we go to the ocean a bit often. Yes, we are very connected to our countryside, our nature.
I understand. And for people who is not from France, but for example, for work, traveling to France and somehow stay there for a longer time than a common tourist from the other world, can you tell me some specific things about French people and about France that person not from France should to understand about you and respect and maybe perfectly like fit in your society? How to fit in French society?
As foreigner, you can't.
Okay. No, this is honest.
but for us, I just speak for me, but it's so nice to meet people different and not just fit in the societies, because we have already a lot of people very amazing, but why not to be different and be part of this society? Being different, I mean. So for us, it's not a problem to be different, to be foreigners. It's just, okay, another guy.
It's a good answer, by the way. Can you explain a little bit about your life in France, maybe lifestyle you have, and maybe a little bit more in general about French people, about their lifestyle in France?
Yeah, so I'm a musician, so I'm not very typical from the middle range of the society, but I can say a lot of people do studies in the university or are studying more building stuff. I don't know how to say that, but like carpentry, masonry, or electricity, or more, yes, to build buildings. So a lot of people are doing studies. I did in IT, and for a lot of young people, it's a bit the case. I became musician maybe 20 years ago, so it's not a new thing for me. Your question was about, my life. So
Lifestyle, yeah.
I live in a city called Nantes, and it's like 600,000 people. So it's the biggest place in the Western France, and was part of Brittany. So there are some conflicts about it. So I'd rather not talk about it. It's a bit conflictual. And yes, we love to go to concert, to go outside, to go do things in bars and clubs, and when it's possible, because of the COVID, it was no more for 2 years. But in general, we love to go to cinema or libraries or bookshop. We have a lot of bookshop in Paris, for example, and a lot of French cinema coming. So we have a lot of festivals too. Like there is a theater festival in Avignon, a little city in the south. And of course, there is the big French festival for the cinema. Yes, we most of French people just enjoy life, so it's very basic stuff. I mean, we are not there to struggle. We are not there to, but if need be, we will fight. So that's it. It's the reason why you can see a lot of people in strike. It's a bit a cliche, but it's true. There is a lot of strikes in Paris. There is also a lot of strikes for the train station and metro stations, because they are not paid enough, for the everything are not so good. So there is a lot of reason we are in strikes quite often. It's a portrait of France, quite realistic from the side.
Can you name most important celebrations in France and some traditions around these celebrations, or traditions, French traditions in general, that you still pursue and you still have?
Yes, we fought 2 wars, so we celebrate the end of of both the wars, like the 11th of November and the 14th of July. But besides, we celebrate a lot the work day, so it's 1st of May, and what did I say? The 8th of May for the World War II. And for the French history, the most important thing is the yes, 14th of July, it's the revolution date. So it's the main thing in the summer holidays for us. It's like, yeah, you wait the 14 and you go to holidays. Usually it's big parties and a lot of things, and people get wrecked, etc.
I understand. Now let's talk a little bit about food in French, because France known as a very gastronomy country. French food is very famous. It's very tasty, very unique. So can you tell me a little bit about food in French and maybe about food culture in French in general?
Yeah, I went to Eastern Europe and I see the difference. So for me, the difference is quite clear. We don't eat to live, but we live to eat. And that's the reason why we will love a lot of French people still cook. And like in every family, someone cook. And we speak along the meal and we talk and we share experience of the days and bad things and good things, but eating a good meal. That's the main thing. So yes, food is the center of meeting people. Actually, it's the glue between people.
I understand. Yeah, you have very unique relationship with food. Like as you said, you live for some people. How you say it? Can you repeat this phrase? It's very nice.
Yeah, we don't eat to live, but we live to eat.
Yeah, it sounds very good. So,
but actually it's true. But we don't like we like French food. I think you are in mind the French food with meat and stuff. But actually, we have a lot of Chinese, Indian, and other country food. A lot in Paris, sure, but in larger city too. We have a lot of foreign food. We enjoy a lot, as much as French food, I mean.
Yeah, I understand. And what about wine? I know the French wine is very famous. You have a lot of wine. It's no, it's like a common thing for you, like evening when you have a dinner with your family to drink wine. It's like wine. It's a thing in France, right?
I don't know. It's very personal. I mean, a lot of young people don't drink wine. They prefer beer. But I don't know. A lot of people drinks too, and in the family we drink wine, but not every day.
Yeah.
Even if you are, if you are addict or not. But yes, we are in my region. There is a lot of different wines because there is the Loire and there is a lot of vineyards. But everywhere in France, there is a lot of different callings of wine, and with the red wine, white wine, rosé, champagne, and different cépages. But it's not the main focus on French life neither. It's just we sell a lot.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of exportation through US, England, I don't know, Asia too, and surely in the Arabian region. But yes, we drink a lot, we drink a bit, but not so much actually.
Yeah, I understand. And talking about specific dishes in France that everybody, from not from France, they talk about this, that in France you have like a specific dish as snails and the legs of frogs. Do you really like to eating this? Like this is tasty, or this is just a stereotype that you eat it a lot? Like every family eat the legs of the frogs And you even grow some specific in France. You have some farm where you grow big frogs to then eat it.
If you want the truth is we are 70 millions of people in France.
Yeah.
And maybe there is some hundreds or thousands of people eating snails and frogs. That's it. So not much.
Not much.
Not much at all. Maybe some old people used to eat that, but we eat some weirder things, like
for example,
eel heads or everything in a pig, or some guts. Some very terrible things for me, but there are some customs in Brittany or center of Massif Central, in the center of France. They eat some weird stuff.
It's very funny.
But usually people don't eat that. That's my point.
Yeah, I understand. That it's not common. It's not like every family in France eat it. It's some people may eat sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. It's more like a joke than a reality.
So talking about French people in general, can you name and explain the portrait of like common French person in general? Like personality and appearance, what he do, but the more about personality. What personality is a French person in general? Because I know it's all personal, you cannot say for everyone, but still there is some specific moments that only French people have in mentality, you know?
Yeah, it's a bit easier for me to talk about it because I went to different countries, but otherwise it's very hard to tell because we are so used to us. And it's difficult to tell. But I think one point is we speak a lot. I mean, yeah, we fight a lot also with we debate. I mean, we speak a lot of things we are not agree with, and it's a main characteristic to speak and also to fight for some ideas we want to be realized. So if we don't agree with something, we will tell it. And I think it's not so common in worldwide.
Yes, it's not common. But can you tell me in general which topics French people are discussing and debating? Like what are the main topics for you?
There is some chat about football. It's true because it's the main sports in France. So rugby, football, basketball, handball, because our team won some years ago. But that's for sports. There is a lot of talk about sport in bars, even in family houses, and etc. But we talk a lot about politics, and our elections are coming. So we are talking about what the president did, what issues he left behind him, and who will be the next president, and what problem do we have, and that kind of political stuff. We talk a lot about it, and in the street and a bit everywhere actually, with strangers or with friends. It's common topic.
I understand.
Sure, we talk about lifestyle and style and mode too, but or music, or it depends already of what you are working on. So for engineers, they're talking about science, it's sure. So it depends of the people, but the big line is people talk.
I understand. And can you tell me, is a family institution and family in general important for French people, or are you more individual and you're not very connected to the family? Because in some countries, family are very important and they have a big families, like, huge
Yeah,
families. In your country, you're more individual or you're also very family oriented and very like, for you, it's family, it's very important.
family is a very new concept now because in France we have a lot of different families. So some people have very, very big families, and when they do a party, it's very family kind of with hundreds of people, literally hundreds of people. But I would say in general, we have some very small families. And for us, I think it's just my opinion, so it's just mine. But I think there is a lot of family, different kind of families with single parents. So we have some, like we say here, monoparentality, and we are also recomposed family. So when some people get divorced and remarried, and there's new family, and it's the new family in France, I think.
I understand.
So it's not like family in more traditional way, it's more wide expression for family.
I understand.
But it's important.
And what age usually people get married in France? Like it's not early, right? Like not in 18.
Oh, no. Is it for you?
Huh?
Is it for you?
That's just interesting. What age usually people get married?
Okay. No, here it's more like 30 years old. It's like when you have a job, when you have a stable family, you can think of it. I think it's more like this kind of thinking when you are thinking about get married. And the actual situation is quite difficult. So I think people get married a bit later.
So talking about love and relationship in your country, can you name positive and negative moments of dating person from your country in general?
It's very difficult to talk about that because it's so different from people to people. I mean, people can be very serious, or a guy can be very expressive. So it depends a lot in the kind of people you are and where in the society you are in. Yeah, there is no rule. For girls, it's the same. There is a lot of different women, and there is a lot of different type of women with type and way of think. Yeah, personality, yes. So we can say there is some general line. It's very, very different from people to people.
And what should you always understand and remember about French person? If, for example, you date a French person, what should you always remember? Always remember and always understand.
Don't screw up.
Don't screw up. And can you describe French woman in few sentences as well as French man in few sentences?
Yeah, but there is a difference between people living in countryside and people living in the big city, and there is some difference between you live in a small city and very big city like Paris. I think, but if we take, for example, women in larger city, I would say there is a lot of feminism,
Mhm.
women,
Mhm.
very engaged for the feminine cause,
Mhm.
and strong,
Mhm.
thin and beautiful and
Yeah, I understand.
stylish, and that's so yeah,
Mhm.
strong women.
Mhm. I understand. And for men's?
Um, it's very hard to talk for men, but I hope they are good to make joke.
Mhm.
But I don't know, actually.
Mhm.
I think they are quite serious,
Mhm.
but they like to party a lot.
Mhm.
So it depends of the people, but
Yeah.
when you can,
Yeah, I
you go,
understand.
you meet in concerts, you meet in
Mhm.
bars, you meet, and like, yeah, there's a
Mhm.
lot of nice guy. So
The last question is, can you name top places in your personal opinion, where should you definitely visit in France? What you should visit?
mhm. I would say the Mont Saint-Michel. It's
Mhm.
an island in the top north in Brittany, Normandy.
Mhm.
It's a very unique place with sands and water. It's,
Mhm.
yeah, beautiful built island on a
Mhm.
rock.
Mhm.
There is a medieval cities in the south of France, like
Mhm.
Avignon or Carcassonne. Carcassonne is
Mhm.
a city castle, very huge. It's
Mhm.
a city and a castle in the
Mhm.
same. There is so many things to see. There's the Pyrenees, the Alps,
Yeah.
all the mountains, very beautiful. We have some emerald coasts,
Mhm.
some cold rose granite coast in Brittany.
Yeah.
There is a lot of so many things.
Yeah,
There is a
you're
lot of
really lucky. You have too many things, historical, nature. It's so beautiful.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, yeah. We
Mhm.
enjoy to live in our country.
Yeah.
It's the reason we are so bad to speak
Mhm.
English or other things.
Yeah.
We don't need to. We don't need
Yeah.
to.
You don't need to travel, you have everything.
Yeah, but it's the bad side too, because we are not used to be interested in other people. It's
Yeah.
quite the bad side of it.
Yeah, but travel is also fun because you can learn about different, cultures. And it's quite interesting sometimes.
Yeah, sure,
Everyone is different.
absolutely.
So now we will also spin an NFT wheel. Rare.
Yes.
So this NFT art, I will send it to
Mhm.
your account, okay?
Okay.
So thank you very much for participating with me. It was very nice to talk to you. Very
Thank
funny.
you.